Well, it's me again, and I got this vintage Austin 7 running. Wasn't as quick as I thought it was going to be. It never is. I'm just holding the choke on because it should lock off and hold, but it doesn't. We can forgive it at 90-year-old. But let's see if it'll just run on its own. Let that choke go. She's running. Listen, you can't even hear it. Oh, it's going to cut out. Okay, it needs more choke. But basically, it ended up being 2 afternoons around work, and we had the weak coil, a very weak coil, and it's because everything was furred up. That's why it's got that spark plug spark indicator thing on it, so I could see the spark. We could see we had the spark, but it was dead weak. Nothing was seized. I've had to take all the petrol out of it. The petrol was just yellow, bright yellow, stank, smelt of thinners. So got all that out of it. It's got the nasty fuel in from the pump that these was never supposed to run on, but you know, in my experience, they will run on it, but it's just not that great for them. Then I've never had the carb part on this. Let's have a quick look at it. It's a Zenith job. Now, I've messed with Zenith carbs before. There's your carb. I mean, this is old. I cleaned it up today. Couldn't even see any writing on it or nothing. But I worked out that the fuel pump was pumping on rotation of the motor. So we were getting fuel up through here. We were getting it up to there. And then we were filling the bowl with fuel. It's mad how the bowl comes off. These 2 nuts, these square nuts, slotted screwdriver, you undo them and then the bottom of the carb comes off. Now there is no gasket. I've just been at a garage talking to the lads at another garage, and I was just telling them, they said, what you working on? I was telling them, and there's no gaskets on these. They made them that well, but not even a paper gasket back in them days. This will have a copper gasket on the head, but like on the carburetor and that, the castings are so perfect that they seal with no gasket and it don't leak no fuel. Fucking insane. Doesn't have, this is where it pulls air in here, so it doesn't have an air filter or nothing like that. Anyway, drop the bowl off, and they're a very, very simple carb. There's a slow running jet in the top around here, and then down at the bottom is a primary and a secondary jet. Well, down at the bottom you could see barnacles like crustaceans and gum and everything, so I knew them bottom jets was going to be gummed up. So they were a really strange, like, square inverted socket type thing to undo them. I don't even know what it would be called. Luckily I got some screwdrivers like that, got them out, cleaned it all out, scraped it out, blew it through with the airline, blew all the jets through, heard the block go when I was blowing it through with the airline, put everything back, screwed it all up, and it started first go, and it ran. I did have it running on, oh, good friend, Easy Start. I had it running on that, and that's how I knew it wasn't getting any fuel. It was getting fuel, but when I was taking the plugs out, this back cylinder here was wet as an otter's pocket, and these 3 were dry. So what was happening was the fuel was coming up through the carburetor, can't get through the jets because they blocked, and then just overspilling coming through, and then the least point of resistance would be this cylinder. So I've seen it before. It was just, so that's how I knew. So anyway, unblock the jets, it worked. So I'm going to try and drive it out of here. I've got skates. I'm going to put skates under the front, turn it round, and then I'm going to drive it out. But I'm not going to try and manoeuvre it around here. Now, I've never drove this on the road or anything, but I think in the next video I'm going to go for a drive up the road in it, I think, and show you. But yeah, it can go out. The Cortinas can go in. There's one of them. They can roll in, and I can rest over the weekend knowing my Cortinas ain't dying. And this can have some fresh air out there, but it will still be under there, so it's out the weather. And then over weekend I'll have a tidy up, a mess about, and start writing the ad for it and everything. But let's just see if she'll crank back up again. You have to watch it because the coil stays live. A funny story, when I pulled it out of there the other day and got it here, I spent an hour looking for keys. It doesn't have keys. They didn't have thieving bastards in them days. So someone's put a key here, but it wouldn't have had the key originally. No keys anywhere. What someone has done, is someone's fitted a red isolator key straight to the battery there. But like other old cars, when the ignition's on now, the coil is on, and if the points have landed, the coil will go hot and burn out, so you've got to be careful. So see if it'll kick back in again. I'm going to work this choke a bit. Just sorry about the camera angle a minute. So it kicks in quite easy. I'm on the gas pedal now. Just wants to warm up a little bit and then we're away then. This window's jammed. So I'm going to have to take that apart and have a look. Look, pre-plastic, that's Bakelite, you can see the red tint to it. And no posi screws anywhere, all slotted, because they didn't even exist then. And this is how you pull the door handle. You pull a rope that pulls that latch inside the Bakelite. You know, the more I look at this window, look, your front window opens. You won't do it off them. The more I fuck about with it, this is my problem, how I came to have so much stuff. The more I fuck about with it, the more I think it's cool, I'll keep it. I can't do it. Look at the window wiper. There's the motor there. Fucking hell. That's crazy. But yeah, it is a nice little thing. I mean, it runs like a peach. Listen to that. She's okay. I'll get it outside in a second. But yeah, I did actually get it going anyway. But it just took a little longer than I thought. If I didn't have all of the work to do in that, I'd probably done all this inside a day. But it's ended up being one whole afternoon getting it out, 2 whole afternoons diagnosing it and doing any remedial work to get it up and running again. But it's running. This is what I do with all these old classics. I'll put them down sometimes 5 years, and when I come to it, I've just got to go through it again like the first day I found it. I've got to start again. But I know I can rely on myself to do that, so it's not a problem me hoarding them like this. That's the easy way of getting it out on them skates, single-handedly. Otherwise you're doing a 150 point turn with a car with no synchro on reverse or first. And you have to double clutch it in and out and everything to get it moving. Probably the clutch isn't fucking working, we'll have to wait and see. But she's pointing the right way now. Pull them skates out. And I'm going to attempt to drive it out. It's out. I was right about that clutch, not to drive it in there. I have had messed about with vintage tractors in my time as well. Not an expert or nothing, but I've had a few small vintage tractors and stuff like that. And that is exactly like a vintage tractor. The clutch going forward, well, it's not the clutch, it's there's no synchro on first. Man, it shoots off forward. It was hard getting it up against that wall because I've left this tiny gap. This doesn't run at the minute, so I've got to wheel this one back. So I need to squeeze through here now, then another one's going to drive through, and then this can go under there where it's going to be stored, and I'm going to come in over weekend and sort it out and that. But I am going to have a drive down the road in it. But when I was backing up, reverse was fine, so I think there's a synchro on reverse, but there's none on. There's no synchro on first. Man, that's scary. But look, it looks alright out in the light, doesn't it? Not been washed in 5 years. But yeah, that's the most I've ever drove it. It wasn't even me that drove it inside. It was one of the lads that used to work here. This was like a shop doing this. I didn't actually even touch this. I just financed most of it. So yeah, there you go. But it's out. I'm looking forward to having a little drive through Crack City here on the rough estate where I work. It'd be funny driving down the road in that. But yeah, anyway, it's out. I'm there on day 3. It's out. It's one in. Managed to push that one in on my own. Doesn't run at the moment. That's another reason I like these old Cortinas and that. You can push them on your own. You ain't doing that with any of this modern shit. So it's a bit tight for that gap. I've got one more to come through, but the next one drives, goes going straight in there. Then I can put that where I want it. We're all geared up for the weekend. Woo! Well, I'd love to tell you that was easy, but it wasn't. It was a major ball ache. Washed all that shit off the Cortina, now the red one. Remember, this entire exercise was just about putting this inside. That's it. But someone's going to end up with a nice car now, aren't they? So I've just rinsed it off real quick. dehumidifiers in here tonight and the heaters will dry it off, and I'll just pull it out a little bit over weekend and sort out that back bumper and wheel and that where it was getting a little bit of surface rust, and give it a proper bed bath ready for it to sit in there over winter. And this going out in the yard now, and over weekend I'll start sorting out for sale. So I'm going to drive it on the yard now, I think. That's if it fits under there, because most stuff fits under there. It's a great system we have here. When you can't be arsed moving the car, you just send it up in the air and drive underneath it. So yeah, never mind, let's just try and get this one out now. See if it'll go through there. Try not knock the Audi off the ramp. Sat on the yard now, ready for prepping for sale. I mean, basically it just wants cleaning off, a couple of little things. It wants a battery because the battery's cooked on it. Someone converted it from 6 volt, which it would have run on once. Someone's converted it to run a positive system, 12 volt like a modern car. But yeah, I'll chuck a battery on it over weekend, get one of them. Only needs a small one, obviously. And it just about squeezed under that Audi. It had millimetres to spare either side. I needed the guy that worked here to guide me under, like a runway man. And then going, see this hill, this little incline, it's steeper than it looks. Like, camera don't do it justice. It wouldn't pull itself up there. It didn't have the power to pull itself up there. It was just spinning on one wheel. So my mate had to push it as I drove it back, get it up there. But clutch works, brakes work, handbrake works. The handbrake's crazy. You pull it and it pulls the foot pedal. It's just connected to the foot pedal, and then it has a lock on it, like a locking system. But that works. All the lights work. So I'll go through it this weekend and we'll get that up sold. I'll post a link to it on one of my videos on eBay in case you know anyone interested in this kind of stuff, or you are yourself. But you can watch it go, like someone will buy that straight away. There's a big following for stuff like that. I'm just glad I've got it out of here after it's sitting here for 5 years. It's a shame. It is a shame. I like me bag of shit track cars nowadays. I like these, so I haven't really got that much time for that kind of stuff anymore. There you go, Austin 7 Ruby Sunshine Edition. There you go.